I'm real pathetic when it comes to watching movies. That mechanism inside you that makes you cry, mine's broken. I cry if something is too sad, which most people do, but also something is too beautiful, happy, or totally awesome. If a movie is going in a direction I didn't expect, anytime a character cries on screen or acts real desperate, I start bawling my eyes out. A few years ago, I casually sat down to watch Tinkerbell and the Legend of the Neverbeast, which I never expected to be the movie that broke my heart. I'm going to spoil the movie, so if you'd like to see it yourself first, then come back to see if you have the same reaction, be my guest. I dare anyone to watch and say it didn't emotionally affect them at all. If you'd like this video to be your introduction to the movie, then let me break it down for you. Tinkerbell and the Legend of the Neverbeast is the 6th film in Disney series, which are a prequel to Peter Pan, and share the adventures of Tinkerbell and her friends in Pixie Hollow. When a fairy is born, they find out what their special talent is. Tinkerbell is a Tinker Fairy, Rosetta is a Garden Fairy, Silvermist is a Water Fairy, Iridescence is a Light Fairy, and Vidia is a Fast Flying Fairy. She was Tinkerbell's rival in the first film, but is now part of the main friend group. The only person missing is Fawn. She is an animal fairy, and the protagonist in this particular story. The movie starts off vaguely explaining the Legend of the Neverbeast, a creature that wakes up to stop a crazy storm that threatens to destroy Pixie Hollow. So this movie is not that complicated. Hearing that there's this unique creature and a protagonist whose job it is to care for animals, you should be able to see where this is going. After that introduction, we get a full scene showing Fawn doing her thing, loving and caring for a bunch of different creatures. And what do you know, our conflict starts with Fawn as she is so caring, she even helps dangerous animals that aren't supposed to be cared for in Pixie Hollow. Because of this, Fawn has beef with the Scout Fairies who protect everyone from these sort of threats. Fawn is told by the Scouts and the Queen to use her head and think twice when making the decision to help these dangerous creatures, even if it means going against her own morals. That doesn't stop her though when she hears the Neverbeast and tries to help him. So she secretly starts to study him and they eventually form a bond. The Scouts are still onto her though, especially Nyx, who after almost discovering them, takes it upon herself to learn more about what she saw. The page she finds on the Neverbeast, who at this point Fawn had named Gruff, seemed to show that he is the one responsible for destroying Pixie Hollow after changing forms and using these mysterious towers he had been building. This causes Fawn to doubt her friendship with him, thinks she put everyone in danger, and inevitably allows Nyx and the other Scouts to capture him. So we get a classic moment of misunderstanding, with both characters looking sad until Tinkerbell shares that Gruff actually saved her during a mix-up that happened before he got captured. Fawn realizes she was right about him being good and rushes off to help him as this crazy green storm grows stronger. We then get a pretty intense action and drama-filled climax as Fawn helps Gruff fulfill his mission in saving Pixie Hollow by collecting the lightning coming from the storm via the towers he had constructed. It really is as crazy and ridiculous as it sounds. Of course though, that mission is made harder for them when Nyx destroys one of the towers, still believing that the Neverbeast was responsible for the whole mess. She's told otherwise, but doesn't have that great of a turnaround. With the tower destroyed, Fawn helps Gruff fly right up to the storm and he stops it. Fawn is presumed dead after the storm settles, but of course, she's just fine. After that, we see Gruff helping out around Pixie Hollow, with everyone now loving up on him since he proved to be the good creature Fawn was trying to tell everyone he was the whole time. And with only 5 minutes left, Gruff yawns and Fawn quickly deduces that he's ready to go into hibernation since he completed his mission. Her friends naively ask how long he'll be asleep for, assuming a few months or a year at most, and Fawn just drops a nuclear bomb on them by saying it'll be 1,000 years. Which, like, dang, okay. The first time I watched it, I was disappointed that they weren't going to see each other for a while, but then. Tinkerbell says that means they're never gonna see each other again because apparently a fairy's lifespan isn't as long as you think. And just like that, they move to the next scene where all the fairies are helping him get back to sleep. Practically everyone shows up to show their gratitude to Gruff for saving Pixie Hollow. It's basically a freaking funeral. Once he gets back to his cave, all the fairies send him off with gifts showcasing their different talents. A light, some water, a cool breeze, and a nice bed. Nyx shares her gratitude, everyone else is crying, and then it moves to Fawn, who is heartbroken beyond belief, but she's trying to be tough and whatnot. Gruff is fighting to stay awake, and the last thing he sees and hears is Fawn saying, "I love you." He closes his eyes, and that's it. That's the end of the movie. To add insult to injury, they play a sad song and have happy images of him with the fairies during the credits. I wish I could emphasize enough how jarring this is, but I hope hearing me explain the plot for so long and then immediately jumping through all these different plot points at the end gets across how unexpected and rushed the ending is. That's what broke my heart because it came out of nowhere. Now, I don't believe in toning down any serious themes or dramatic scenes just because the movie is made for kids, but I really don't know why they put this here. It'd be like if Toy Story 3 ended right at the furnace scene. Not only are you expecting a happy ending because it's Toy Story, but the rest of the movie didn't set up that tragic of an ending. Why should I feel the need to emotionally prepare myself for a movie that's got Tinkerbell's name in the title? Just because something comes as a total surprise does not automatically mean it's going to resonate with the audience. You don't have any time to process what happened, so how could it? One of the easiest ways to ruin a beloved movie or TV series is to do something so unexpected and not even bother to tie it into what had been established previously. Change isn't always a good thing if it doesn't feel earned or if nothing has justified its existence. Now, I genuinely enjoy practically all the other films in the series. They don't do anything groundbreaking and they're full of cliches, but they're quite charming and the world they build is pretty interesting. This particular one though I have to say I dislike because it totally wrecked me. It threw the biggest emotional curveball after 5 films which were totally fine just telling simple sweet stories. I have no idea what made them think this change in tone was a good idea. No other Tinkerbell film has been this way, and no other film will apparently ever be, because this was the last movie in the series. What a terrible way to go out! Maybe they'll revisit Pixie Hollow one day and leave off on a new positive note, but I will forever be scarred by Tinkerbell and the Legend of the Never Beast.